For a little bit more on this, we're now joined by the Secretary General of the National Association of School Governing Bodies, Matakanye Matakanye. Thank you so much indeed. And Tate, welcome to the program. Good to talk to you again.
Compliments, Peter, the family of SABC, as well as the viewers.
Thank you so much for your time. Gauteng, we know about 1,500 children have not been placed. Western Cape, it's looking like 600 at the moment. What do you think is causing this lack of placement? What is your experience as somebody who oversees SGBs?
Well, there are really a number of things, Peter. One is that Gauteng is being seen as a province for opportunities, and everyone wants really to bring his or her child in this province of gold. Now, that could be one of the problems, because when we discuss with the administrators is that parents are applying very late. Probably it could be parents that are taking their children from other provinces. And I think that will be much of the cause. But not only that, another thing is that the system has to develop. It has to be developed in the sense that now, when you talk to parents, some would say they have applied to the school as required. However, they don't appear in the system, or they were allocated a seat in a school that they've never applied for. So I think we need to really sit down with the minister and look into this matter very seriously, because and this thing only applies to the majority in this country. We don't see the minority being going up and down, being applying for as required and placed probably in Soweto, or placed in Sebokeng, or placed in Tembisa. We did not have such complaints from other communities. So I think we also have to look into this system, how it works, why it's particularly targeting the majority in this country. So I think those are some of the problems that we really have to look into in the terms of the system. And secondly, is that, well, schools opened well, as per planned. Teachers were ready. I think parents took the first years, the grade ones, the grade 8 to school. We saw them, parents taking the children to school and all those on time. And the teachers were waiting them at the school as well as governing bodies and all. But there are scenes that really disturbed us. Since that some of the children up to now, they are not yet placed. You could have heard the minister saying, give us chance. So it goes back to question of we have to plan better. It cannot be that a policy that says first day teaching and learning must take place, because teachers already have got their ATPs. Teaching and learning must take place. So the question is, what happens with those children who do not even know when will they be placed in schools? So this is a question that we have to grapple with and say, I don't think teachers will wait for those children, because teachers are under pressure to complete their ATPs. So I don't see them after a week or 2 weeks going back and say we are addressing the children who are just joining the school. But also, one excitement that one has is parents are coming to the party now. You could have seen parents protesting all over, where they don't, I mean, they protested in Pretoria, where they have noticed that there's some racism there. You would have seen parents protesting in Pimville, where the school is falling apart and the ceilings are falling apart. So they refused to take their children to a grave, that their children must go and die there. They refused. So we are happy that parents now, they come to the party and make sure that their children receive quality education as other communities.
All right, Mr. Matakanye, you've mentioned a few things there. Let's unpack some of them. The first one, SGBs. How much control do you have in how children get placed, or do you have no say at all?
Come again, Peter?
I said, you are running school governing bodies in the country. How much control do these school governing bodies have in terms of getting children placed, or do you have no say at all?
No, the question of admission is the role of the school governing bodies. They govern the schools, they govern the admission as well. However, the system, it is not controlled by the school governing body. Technology is not the prerogative of the school governing body. Hence, when it goes to that, the system, then will always refer all the queries to the Department of Education, and the lowest being the districts and all those. Like, for instance, as I said, people have lined up in those districts,
right.
And then to go and register.
Is it a question
in terms of that? Then, generally, we control the schools in terms of admission.
All right. Is it a question of first come, first served? Because then those parents that come last minute, some of them who've come from other provinces over the holidays and are starting a new year in a new province, tend to be the last ones to start applying.
Hence, Peter, we are saying, I think we have to meet with the minister to look into the system, and plan better, as I said.
Okay.
That there must be cut-off date, that we start applying this time and we stop this time.
Yeah.
Whether you are applying late and all those things, people must start understanding that when we apply early, is for the system to be able to prepare for these children. They must know how many children are in the system so that we know how to budget and all those things. But now, if people keep, so it's just a question of really people starting to change their mindset.
Right.
That this question of online admission, and then it is a system that helps us to know exactly how many children do we have in the system, and from there, what these children and all those. So I think we have to plan better so that the system achieve its objectives.
Ntate Matakanye, thank you very, very much indeed. Great talking to you. Thanks for your insights.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Thank you.
And everybody.
All right, that's the Secretary General of the National Association of School Governing Bodies, Mr. Matakanye Matakanye, speaking to us about the first day of school in inland provinces, Gauteng. 1,500 children still to be placed, and questions are being raised about the system. However, when you look at the numbers, 290,000 children have been placed, 1,500 haven't as yet, which means 0.5% haven't been placed. Perhaps the system is working, but maybe there are other issues in terms of why these last 1,500 numbers didn't get through. We'll keep a tab on that story for you.